So on my way to work, I was looking at TikTok. A content creator popped up from Liberia, a Liberian American, and she was talking about Essence 2025. And it seemed to be like this year, Essence 2025 wasn't highlighting black American culture. They had African elements. Then she goes on to say that Tom Warner sold the Essence Festival to a Liberian. The lady that organized the Essence Festival is Kenyan. So they brought Caribbean and African traditional elements into the festival. On surface value, I don't see nothing wrong with it, right? But here comes the problem, right? Definitely over the last 5, maybe 10 years, especially since I've been home, you've been having Africans, right, throw darts at black Americans. So, hence, you got a whole new movement that sprang out, FBA. I'm a black American, both sides of my family. Like, so I don't go by the term FBA. I'm black American, period. Black American is the only American people in this country. Black Americans come from a bunch of different African cultures, language, and traditions that had to make their way through some of the most brutal oppression during slavery and after slavery. But most of y'all don't know black American history, and even black Americans don't really know their true history over here in America. Cool. So you have factions within inside of the black American feel like their accomplishments and their contributions to America is being overlooked, wiped out, or minimized. This is not a nutcracker. This is a juice. I've been juicing lately. This is like beet juice, pineapple juice, and kale. I'm trying to be on my health kick. But back to the topic. So, when Kwame Nkrumah came to America, he lived in Harlem for a while. He went to a HBCU, Lincoln University. When he became Prime Minister of Ghana, he been inviting black Americans in. This is why Ghana have all those different programs for people in African diaspora to return back home. Caribbeans, mainly Jamaicans, Marcus Garvey, came to America looking for Booker T. Washington, who passed away a year before he came. They didn't have internet back then, so he didn't know that, right? But he came to the South, Alabama, looking for a black American, right? It shows you that our people that we look up to and respect are more wiser than some of you dumb people right now today, right? And so what y'all doing, y'all falling into the Willie Lynch curse. He said you keep introducing different concepts and they keep them divided for another 300 years, right? So Africans and a lot of Caribbeans, black Americans paved the way for you technically to be in this country, right? Because we fought, we bled, we got lynched, raped, murdered, we fought back. We had to fight for what they call civil rights, which I find nonsense. You're human, it's only human rights, right? So in a lot of what we did, y'all was able to ride the coattails of black Americans. That's just the fact, right? Most of you people, whether you're a black American, whether you are African from one of those countries in Africa or from one of those countries in Caribbean, y'all are silly people, man. When I was coming up, I didn't hear all this. all this bickering. You might have had the Jamaicans didn't like the Haitians, the Dominicans didn't like the Puerto Ricans, and I didn't understand why. But hey, that wasn't for me to understand. But I've ate in Jamaican people houses. I've ate in Panamanian people houses. I've ate in Belize people houses. I've ate in Trinidadian people houses, right? I've ate in Puerto Rican people houses. I've ate in Dominican people houses. I'm talking about as a youth. So what I hear going on now, it doesn't make sense to me. Let me share this with you, right, if I may. When white people come from Russia, Ukraine, France, Germany, Italy, Romania, Sweden, Switzerland, right? They just don't abdicate their cultural heritage, but when they come over here, you know what they say? They white Americans, right? Because you don't see in the demographics, when you fill out the census, it doesn't have none of these things over here. But when Caribbeans come over here, when different ethnic Africans come over here, y'all go out y'all way to show separation, right? And all you doing is playing into the hands of the same mentality that colonized your country, right? Because the only people that are your natural allies over here in this country is black Americans, right? And if you're going to continue to come over here, then you need to learn and understand the social, political, and cultural history of black Americans. I know most of y'all just come to cities. Y'all haven't been into the deep south or certain spots out west or Midwest, right? That's not a city. But do not allow a false sense of reality to make you think that you are better than black Americans, right? And black Americans, stop being so reactionary, because there's somebody behind it all pulling the strings, being a puppet master. And y'all don't even see it, right? Y'all don't even see it. I've never heard the level of nonsense, because that's what it is. It's nonsense that I've been hearing, especially lately, right? I don't care if you call yourself an FBA. I don't care what type of African you are. I don't care what type of Caribbean you are. If you don't see yourself as one with us, you're not going to survive over here, right? Because in America, politics is a numbers game. Look at, it wasn't even no such thing as Latinos before I left in 1995. I heard the word Hispanic used. I've never heard the word Latino or Latinx. That's some new shit, right? At the end of the day, we have a sophisticated enemy, right? And it's called white supremacy. And if you can't see that what's going on right now today, then I don't know what to tell you, right? Because all we gonna do, whether you black American, African, Caribbean, is we gonna keep fracturing. We gonna keep looking at each other like we competitors. We not competitors. We can't, black Americans can't be y'all competitors, for one, right? We in our own country, so we can't be y'all competitors, right? That's just a fact, right? But what we are is your natural allies, right? Because I'm pretty sure when those police shot Amo Diablo, talking about he had a gun when he had his keys or his wallet in his hand, they ain't see no Senegalese person. They saw a nigga. When those police in Brooklyn shoved that plunger up Abner Luwama, if I'm saying his name wrong, pardon me, up his hind part, tore his rectum, knocked his teeth out, while all those other police held him down, and Johnny Cochran got him one of the biggest settlements in New York City history for police brutality. They didn't see no Haitian or no Caribbean person. They saw a nigga, right? They saw a nigga. We need to knock that stuff off because we don't have no issues, right? I love jollof rice. Senegalese, Nigerian, and Ghana. I don't know which one of y'all have the best rice yet. It depends on who actually cooking it, right? And I'm still searching. So I don't got no ruling on that. So when I see y'all, I don't see y'all as no competition to me. I don't see y'all as no competitors to me. I see family, yo. Because I grew up how I grew up, and that's probably the greatest thing about being from Brooklyn, yo. I don't see the hang-ups that a lot of people see or have, right? And I don't feel I needed to defend Black America, Black American. I am Black American. I'm the standard over here in America. So why would I need to defend that, yo? But what y'all need to do is upgrade y'all knowledge, upgrade y'all historical understanding, upgrade how we always help. When South Africa was under the apartheid regime, when that international boycott, it was people over here, Black Americans, leading the charge. I remember that in the 80s. I was in middle school helping to dismantle apartheid. You younger people, man, y'all some of the most ignorant people. I don't care if you Black American. I don't care if you African. I don't care if you Caribbean, yo. When I go check my bro that I knew since we was 10 years old, he from Trinity, right? He always think that Trinity got better sorrel than Jamaica. I don't know. They both taste good to me, right? When I go to the Jamaican spot and get curry goat or jerk chicken over rice and peas with that oxtail gravy and cabbage and plantains, I never had a bad experience in a Jamaican spot. I don't know. I don't know where we at right now, yo. While we consistently divide us, instead of realizing politics is a numbers game. We'll never win because we so fractionized. And I think the Essence Festival showed that, man. And if you think that I said anything in other, jump in the comments and add on. Peace.